going to talk about the KMS formats. So let's say we made a design, we create the geological model or any kind of information. So we added an option to save that type of a data in KML format. So this is the first feature. So let's say open pit. I can save it as a KML now. The file is created, and from the desktop I can open that KML file. So with that new feature, actually we will be able to sending the data to the Google Earth. We can send that information to our colleagues and they can check the information on Google Earth environment as well. So this is a new feature that we bring into NetProMine, but of course, to be able to send that data, actually the projection definition should be defined in settings. So we added the projection definition also. So now we do have EPSG code of our projects, which we can select the mertaker and the datum and the zone actually around the world also. And then we can adjust our APSG to the projection that we are working for the specified project. So I will cancel that. So the EPSG code actually is known for most of the regions. As long as you have the EPSG code correct, your data is going to be in the right coordinates. So it's the one of the features that we bring into NetProMine as well. The another one that I would like to mention. So in the okay, for the boreholes that we have, let me adjust it. Okay, now it looks better. All right, so by using the analyze values inside the boreholes, we were actually capable of making some raw sample display actually. So in here, according to the tenors, we were capable of making the raw sample display, the analyze values actually, we were capable of seeing that. And I'm going to say it's a record one. So if I do that, we will bring our raw sample display. So the thematic range can be edited according to the numeric range. So by using that information, which is the grade information of the chrome, basically, it shows the distribution of the chrome percentage on the levels that we come across. So I will say 5 slots. So till 33%, I'm going to split that into 7 different intervals. And I'm editing that raw sample information. The new thing about is actually Now we are capable of saving those row sample settings. So whenever we need it, we can also bring that row sample displaying also. So from the tools, if you say import R1, it's going to bring the last version of the row sample display. So we're not going to be editing all the time. It is also the same for composite display. After we make a composite operation and make a distribution on the boreholes after splitting that information into smaller pieces, it's quite the same. We can save the display of a composite also. So thematic ranges is going to be here whenever we need it. We can save in a different names as well. That was other features. We just made it practical. Okay, so moving on to another one. Let's bring back the boreholes. Okay, this one related to the solid model. When we create a solid model by using implicit model in features or an explicit model, um, we are producing a solid model and it might have some faults. Either um, you made some editings on the solid model or you have some faulted solid model. So that's why I'm going to bring um change some coordinates of the solids. Okay. Um, maybe okay, move it here. Okay, so I actually changed some triangle information. So now I do have some holes inside my solid. Um, like I said, we might do some editings by mistake, or we might have a faulty solid model that we import at the beginning. So in that cases, we added model validation. So when you click on it and click on the solid model, now we will be able to check the incorrect features that solid model have. And when we say start validation, it will show us in which pieces we do have some faults. Okay, so now it actually detect the incorrect triangles and holes. So it previews us in which part we do have some faults. And now we can use the restoration part. You can say use the whole lines to fix it. And when we apply, it's going to show us the fixed version. Okay, so after validation, if we uncheck the solids, as we can see, it's actually fixing that part. So if we say add solid model to the project, it's going to add the valid version to the software. So we actually fixed the triangles. Okay. Another feature we bring is actually block model merge feature. I do have a block model already assigned values, so maybe I'm going to make another one. Or is this okay? This is empty without any attributes. I think it will work. So with the block model merge, actually we can merge two different block models because in the block features we were actually capable of um, filtering the blocks and copying in a different way. So if I filter that according to the boundary, so I'm going to say central um, points of the blocks if it's inside the a boundary that I define. Let's draw one. Okay, so all right, from here, I will use the boundary. I'm going to say inside the boundary blocks that stays inside the boundary. When we apply the filter, I'm looking for the blocks that central points are inside the boundary. So after the filter operation, I'm going to say create a copy. So this one is actually going to be the right side. I will rename it as a right side. And now I will do the opposite outside the boundary. And the rest of the parts I'm going to save as the left side. I can remove the filter from this one. The right side and the left side. So basically two different pieces that I have of a same block. Um, In the block model operations, block between, not this one. Okay, here, merge blocks. So when we use that feature, it's going to give us the merge block. Okay, so the block 2 is actually quite the same with our original block, but the use of that block splitting and merging operation can be used for estimation operations. As you can see here, maybe I should have split it in here a little bit more, but I believe it's okay. So whenever when I would like to assign or make a resource estimation, we are actually using the inverse distance method, and we are using an ellipsoid to make an assignment. So I will bring one ellipsoid. Okay. And give some transparency to the block. All right. So actually in that piece, my ore body is more like in a horizontal way. So I don't need that much of a rake. So it's more like in that direction. And azimuth value. Okay. I adjust it. So this is the shape of an ellipsoid because like I said, my ore body in horizontal way till that part. But it could be another part, two or three different pieces we might have. And after synchronizing the settings, actually, I can make an attribute distribution to the left side. So this is the number one. And it's assigned values to the block model. In the right side, we can also do the same operation. We can make an estimation, but this time by using different ellipsoid parameters. Okay, so in this piece, basically it follows a different direction. So in here, I can adjust my rake in a different way. synchronize the settings, and make an assignment. Okay, so good thing about merge is actually it's keeping the attribute values when it's merging the blocks. So I will go into merge blocks again. First selection, the second selection, and it will give me one complete block model. And if I check the object properties, that I can see it has a grade information. And if I make a whole thematic, if I add thematic view to the block model, basically, according to its grade, maybe just two. So I can make a use of an ellipsoid in a different pattern, in a different angle. I can apply, I can use resource estimation separately, and then I can combine that block model once again. If, let's say, this one has another attribute, let's say ash or moisture, and this one doesn't have. So it will add that attributes to these block as well, but the attribute value is going to be 0. So in here, for example, it's going to have ash moisture that attributes as well, but it's going to be 0. So it also combines all of the attributes that different blocks has, and also you can combine different sized blocks too with that feature. All right, so that was one of the use of the block model. So now in here, going to make something different. So we also bring the material mapping. Let me see if I have a solid. No, I don't have that kind of a solid. So I'm going to create a solid, basically, to showcase that feature. Drawing an area. You can see it. Doesn't matter. I'm going to draw another area here. Maybe we can edit its points. So it's going to be closer to this one. Yeah. Um, Now I'm creating a solid model between that areas. So this feature actually we bring because of the stratigraphic modeling. In the stratigraphic modeling, we are actually creating different solid models that belongs to different lithologies, basically. But in this case, manually, I'm going to show how we can do some um, assignments about the lithology, for example. So I'm going to the properties of the Chrome and adding a new lithology. Let's say it's going to be a lithology and color is going to be that. Yeah, I think it's okay. Okay, so for the model that I do have, AA2, so I'm going to be able to assign the lithology information. So it's a Chrome lithology. And now in the properties, we can actually see that solid actually belongs to the Chrome lithology. So different solids is going to be belong to the different lithologies. And then actually, if we create a block model, we can also assign the lithology information into the block as well. From here in the modeling features, we will go to the material mapping. So this is the block. Okay, now we can see that the part inside the solid is actually getting the Chrome assignments and other one getting -1 for the lithology. So on the solids on the screen actually going to assign their lithology information to the block. And according to that information, actually, we can see which part of the block actually got the Chrome lithology and which part didn't. Um, like I mentioned, it's going to be much more useful in if you're creating a model of the stratigraphic features. And in the stratigraphic features, you're going to have a different layers of solids a lot. And let's say this is our block model. So we will be capable of assigning all of the lithology information into the block now. With that feature, we can create block models, we can assign lithology information to the blocks, and we can make a thematic display according to its lithologies as well. Um, we added and we made some adjustments on the block reports. So when we get a block report now, we separated the information into two. So this is the pure block model volume. It comes from directly block sizes. So we calculate the volume and we calculate the tonnage. That one actually comes from the block inside the solid. In that case, both are the same, but it depends how we create the block. It actually comes from the volume that block model has inside the solid model. And in addition, it calculates the ore tonnage. So as a ore tonnage, we mean because we do have tenor, the grade information in between different ranges, and we know the grade averages. So the basically it's like 11% inside that much of a tonnage. So it calculates the pure chrome tonnage in here. Gets the information from properties. If you define the grade information as a percentage, it calculates how many percentage we have in the blocks, or could be different units as well. And according to that, it tells you the ore tonnage as well. In the sections, we made a couple of improvements. So this is our solid. And if I get a section, so this is how it's going to look like from that side. But in many cases, when you want to save that information, um, you were capable of saving is as a 2D. But now, when we save that as a DWG format, let's say, 2. So if I save it now and delete the 3D layers, uncheck the solid model, and load the information again, we will have the coordinated CAD version of that section. So 3D sections, we are now capable of saving actually. Also, I was actually going to uncheck this, open the solid. Also now we can save the sections in the way that we get the section. If we save it, let's say section view 1, and if we cancel, and if we load the section that we were using as a section view 1, it will bring that same section again. Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about actually related to the boreholes. We added some more filtering option um, to the boreholes. So before that, you had to actually write the name of the borehole to filter, but now all of the boreholes actually in here, you can make a selection. You can filter according to its starting Z coordinates, which we were actually doing that before also, depth and Z coordinates. We added borehole groups. So if you have different group of boreholes, now you can also use the borehole group filter. Um, we can use lithology or interval information now while we're filtering the boreholes. And also in the intervals with the module that we bring recently, we are actually capable of adding lots of different intervals now. So according to its group, it can be oxidation, alteration zone, stack, combine intervals, or another seams. So we can bring lots of different um, intervals. We can enter that information to the boreholes and we can filter by using that information too. So if we have that information in our data, let's say, show me the boreholes with oxidation zone. I don't have that intervals at the moment, but if I manage my data with that levels, so I'm going to be able to filter. Also, we added the condition. So in different cases, I do have the grade information of a Chrome in that data set, but we might have different type of data sets. Let's say um, I also have nickel or basically iron inside. Okay, so I can say bring me the boreholes with the chrome is higher than 10% and iron is higher than 5%. So in here with the conditions, we can make a selection. So both of them has to be true always. Or I'm looking for the boreholes with either higher than 5% iron or 10% higher than chrome. Then in that case, any condition is true will work for me. So that kind of a logic we actually added, and previously we were also using that parameters, and according to the area, we are also capable of filtering, or we're basically capable of showing only the lithology or interval that we have anytime that we want. So yeah, we added a couple of different logics while we're filtering. It can be come in handy. For the block models, we add an option to adjust the block corner lines. So there was an option. Actually, some of the people were using, some of them not more frequently. But if you unselect the area borders, actually there's a different display of the block model. So the block view actually becomes more distinctive with the block edges. Now, in the options, actually, we are capable of adding the thickness of that edges as well. After, let's say, you get a section or different operations, if you would like to see the block edges more thick, then you can use that option in the advanced thickness settings. Uh, the other one for borehole labeling. So in some cases that our labels actually representing one information on the boreholes, not like the lithology or lithology elevations. The lithology names actually writing on the levels that we have, especially when it represents the lithology or different levels, could be another intervals or seam information. So in that kind of a labels, um, it's better to see them next to the level or interval that it belonged. But in some cases, in the when we have the one attribute, we added an option, especially for not this here, the change of the borehole labels location. So it is actually getting from the start and ending point of the borehole. So we'll make a change in here. Actually, it has to be start and end or middle point. But the idea is if we say end location, let's say, when we uncheck and bring the boreholes back, it's going to the bottom of the boreholes. For use for singular labels, we added that option. So if we want, we can also bring the setting and make some adjustments while we're preparing the reports or getting some information. So we will be able to see labels in a different location as well. In the sections, now I'm also going to bring the solids. Maybe make it a different color like this. Okay. So when I'm checking that information from the sides, I can get a section by using its elevation as well. So I can type here the elevation value. So it's around 435. Now it will get a direct section of a 435. With that, actually, you can see the exact level uh, you would like to see. And level by level, now we are also capable of saving that as a DWG. So level by level, you can actually get sections and save it also. Even we can see the different lithologies on the borehole. So in that part, we are actually entering the chrome lithological level. And in that boreholes, we don't have it yet. So we can make adjustments. We can save every 5, 10 levels, which levels that we are looking for. Um, Another one I would like to mention, these features usually make the software practical in many cases. So now I made another OpenPit design. Actually, I shouldn't have to uncheck the solid. I can bring back the solid. Okay, so when I'm making an OpenPit design, and this is my original topography. So if I start the design from the bottom, I can actually go as much as I want, depending on the parameters that I have here. So I can make 11 more bench as well. And I can update the design. But if I don't limit with the surface, before that, you had to find manually the intersection and etc. But now, from the open pit, directly you can find the surface uh, intersection limit. So this is my pit surface, and this is the original surface. When we right click, we actually find the intersection level on the pit. So this is actually the limit. And we can see that limit actually goes through like that. So if we want, we can make some edits on the limit as well. Okay, so this is the limit that we have actually. Now we can just update the open pit design according to the limits. And it just automatically updates and prepares the open pit design. Um, okay, another one, saving the estimation parameters. Actually, I could have mentioned um, about it while I was making an estimation. Okay, if you remember, we make assignments to the left and the right side of the blocks. While we were making an estimation, Actually, we use the ellipsoid parameters. In the ellipsoid parameters, we can also save the settings and we can load back whenever we want, but we also bring that for different estimation operations. Now, um, and besides from the ellipsoid settings, now we are also capable of saving um, estimation settings as well. Estimation setting 1, and we can load estimation setting 1 when we want to. Before that, as a property, we had to add, let's say, ash as a percentage. We had to add these attributes manually. But now, from the properties, you can actually go to the attributes part, and you can use add attribute from the file. So from your analyze values, which we call raw sample values, in the call, for example, we do have calorie, ash, moisture, different attributes. So if I select that file, I'm going to be able to get the attributes automatically. So we don't have to add one by one anymore. And also, we talk about the intervals. Now, actually, I can show you and add some intervals as well. Let's say alteration zone, display with the yellow color, and the group is alteration. If I wanted to add a description, I can add a description as well, or a pattern for the zone. Those are going to be the seams. Okay. All right. So now in the add interval section, actually I can add the alteration zones. So group and the seam. So it's becoming an alteration zone. So with that, actually, we're capable of adding lots of different, we also call that alteration, but we could have used A1 also, maybe for oxidation or one, like another color. Now we can add, let's add to the another borehole. So we can add lots of different intervals and we can show them on the boreholes. Also, we do have display interval option. We can show it in bulk if you wanted to. And now we can highlight the parts. Actually, it would be better if I bring its axis. Okay. So like that. I can select seam. I can select the alteration zone, oxidation zone, highlights. or the lithologies. Now, if we wanted to, we can add any kind of interval has a numeric representation on the boreholes, and we can display it easily. Also, if you would like to manage the data in a better way, we can use that window, the correlation window. And here we can show selected boreholes, or we can show all of the boreholes as well, but I'm choosing the boreholes might be in the same section. All right, here I can display it with its patterns as well. I can see their lithological information, the chrome, the D levels, and the others. So from that screen, as long as I add the information, now I do have seams, alteration zone, oxidation zone as well. I can say add Wayne or seam definition for let's say 2015 38. 38 here. Let's make it oxidation 01, 0 to 22. Okay, so I can add the oxidation, and I can adjust its level so easily. Also the size. And when I say update the weight, all of the information is going to be updated. With that screen, we will be able to manage all of the boreholes. It's kind of like looking the log reports of the boreholes, and with a lot of different interval definition, we can add that information next to the boreholes, and we can finalize our interval work. Okay, so in general, this is the new features that we bring into the NetProMine. I can also share